Today is November 25th, 2013, and I'm interviewing Rachel Schappert, the artist of the mural and CPAM winner from 2011. So Rachel, before we talk specifically about the mural, I was wondering if you could give me some background information in terms of how you got interested in art and perhaps the education you took in that area.
Sure. Well, I grew up outside of Winnipeg. I grew up in rural Manitoba, southeast about 45 minutes, just outside of St. Anne, Manitoba. So I basically grew up in the bush. It was a funny way to say it, but yeah. So I went to high school up there, and it was a really small high school. Ever since I was a kid, I remember getting into a lot of painting and art and stuff. My mom always was doing crafts with us. She was also an artist, so and also I guess there were other family members who were artists as well. My uncle is an artist, and my grandma is kind of a hobbyist artist, but she is also really into watercolor. So I guess I came by it honestly, in a sense. Like I grew up around it, and I also feel like growing up in the country gave me a lot of space for my imagination to kind of run wild and kind of give me different kinds of inspiration and stuff like that, or as far as I've thought about it anyway. So yeah, and actually in like my high school never even had an art class, which was interesting, but we created this art club. So we painted a few murals in the school and that sort of thing. So that's kind of like how I got started with larger paintings and murals. And then I moved to the city to go to the UofM and went to art school. And I actually was interested in art history to begin with. I think more because I was thinking, oh, I have to, I have to try and go some academic route or something, or it's kind of like my year of denial or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of a funny thing, but I realized that I really just needed to be making art, and also like I really enjoy making art with other people, which I do a lot of the time as well. So.
So did you do a BFA? You did
Yeah,
a
I did
BFA at the University of Manitoba.
Yeah. And when I painted the mural, it was actually at the time I was doing my thesis. So yeah, I graduated with the Bachelor of Fine Arts. So yeah.
So you talked a bit about scale. You did murals in high school. Are you drawn to that scale?
I think so,
painting?
yeah. A lot of the murals I've been a part of as well, or collaborative, or kind of like community murals and that sort of thing. So I really enjoyed working on like a large scale, but with like others and like community members and that sort of thing. I painted one on Ellis with the community, and I also had done other murals through graffiti art programs and Art City, and yeah, and also I'd done a few by myself, which were fun for me too, because it would just kind of give me this room to play, which I really liked. So yeah, and also when I paint on canvas, I often would do larger pieces as well. So.
Yeah, okay, so the process is specific to the mural we're talking about at the UofM. Did you do preliminary sketches, or did you just start painting on the wall?
Well, that's a funny question. I guess when I had heard about the mural CPAM, was it? The projects or whatever, I was really struck by it, because I was like, oh, a mural in the tunnel, that would be really fun, because the murals are kind of like, not the murals, the tunnels are kind of dark, and it would be nice to kind of like spread some color down there. So I had all this paint, like I have all these just cans of paint from other murals that I've done, right? So I was like, oh, well, this is great. Like I could like, paint this. I had no idea where I was going to paint it, but when I chose the spot, I like to think about the place that I'm painting and like be site specific as much as I can, in a sense. So even though a lot of paint, like the way that I paint is very abstract or like surrealist inspired, I a lot of the time will do some kind of sketches, although I was doing a lot of sketches for other paintings at the time. So I think the paintings that I was doing at the time for my thesis and also thinking about the mural were kind of informing each other. So yeah, I had done some sketches, but not a lot. I just thought, okay, this mural is my chance to just kind of explode on the wall with some color and some, you know, some you know, stuff like that. So when I chose the spot, I was really interested in the fact that it was right beside the computer lab, and also for this really funny reason that there was this security camera. Like it's kind of like this half spherical security camera shield. It's like silver. That's kind of between the ceiling and the wall. So I thought that was a really neat thing to incorporate into the composition as like a 3D element. So I kind of actually was looking at the mural and I kind of like centered it around that, which is bizarre, but it was more like in an abstract way. Like I wasn't like, oh, it's a security camera. Like it wasn't like conceptually connected in that way, but more like the form. Although I don't know if you noticed or people noticed, there's like this funny message that I put in the mural that most people actually do not notice, but I actually put text. I don't know, maybe it's been taken off, who knows, but I put text on the security camera, just like this vinyl text that said imagination, but imagination, I split the O-N at the end, so it's like imagination on, so your imagination is on. And that was just like a funny thing, and I was thinking about that because I guess we were in like the murals in the tunnels, and you know, I kind of feel like tunnels in a sense are like a place where it's dark and like maybe, you know, it's a place in the shadows and that sort of thing. So I thought maybe this burst of color would kind of inspire the imagination. And then also I was thinking about the fact that it was beside a computer lab, and that like this age that we're in is like this age of like technology and you know, so many screens and these sorts of things, and how we're kind of like taught our imagination in a lot of ways, I think, is conditioned to act a certain way or not at all. So and when I'm making abstract work, I really want to kind of spark that, because a lot of the time when somebody looks at an abstract work, they see all sorts of different things, and people come to me and said, oh, I saw some fish in that mural, and I was like, sure. Like, you know, it's whatever you bring to it, right? But when I was painting it, I was sort of imagining like there's elements of a kind of abstract landscape, but also it's in a lot of ways there's this very calm part, and there's this kind of more part that has more a chaotic kind of swirling effect, almost like somebody told me that it looked like a storm, which I thought that was interesting. So I always like to play with those kind of balancing those binaries or whatever. So.
Yeah, I find it very energetic. When I look at it, I see a lot of nature. It looks very organic to me.
Yeah.
And when we first started the interview, you were talking about bushes.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
and I see these kind of spiky,
forest, right?
yes, exactly. So. But these really expressive bushes. I love the energy of this piece. And then this object that looks almost like a sun could be a storm, it could be this disintegration or this whole energy ball, you know, it could be a lot of things, but yeah, it's very vibrant when you come around the corner and you see it.
That's good, I'm glad.
Yeah, no, I really like it.
Yeah.
Is there a reflection perhaps in the water? I don't know. Do you do you read that as a horizon line, maybe?
Oh man, that's like, I haven't seen this in a while. I didn't really necessarily mean for there to be a horizon line. I'm just looking at the photo
me.
right now, but
Yeah.
but
Perhaps
I
I'm
like
reading
that.
into it because I'm painting lots of landscapes now too, so I might
Right.
be reading that into it.
Yeah.
So it's funny, I'm not going to move the camera now, but there is a canvas above her that I could just see that it's her work. So I was going to ask you, how does this mural fit into the rest of your oeuvre?
Well, yeah, I guess I never really thought about it, but it, when I was painting, well, the painting that's behind me and like paintings that were in that series of paintings, I was thinking a lot about nature and about, oh shoot, that's horrible. I was thinking about nature, and I also was thinking about my connection with nature, in specific, women, and I was thinking about our bodies as part of nature, but more integrated, and kind of this fragmentation of the body, and just kind of almost like the spirit of nature being connected with you, but almost like the body is absent. I don't know if that even makes sense, but yeah, all many forms that I am painting are inspired by nature, and I look a lot at different artists who also have that way about them, and also Ernst Haeckel is a really big inspiration. He was like this biologist from the early 1900s, but he was also an artist and a philosopher, and he was interesting because he created these like panels of animals and flora and fauna and stuff, but they were super fantastic, like they weren't anatomically correct. So I was kind of interested in that, like that kind of fantastical idea of nature, just that feeling almost. Because I feel like when I'm making art, I'm more of like a feeling artist, not like a thinking artist.
And process is probably
Process
important
is
too.
very important. Yeah. Like I feel like I don't like start with this, meta idea or something. Like I do, but I have these ideas in mind, and I have these inspirations, but also it's like through the process I kind of find that it completes itself in the end, and I'm really happy because it allows me to reflect in the end as well, like about the piece or about whatever I'm creating. But
Yeah, because I mean, the act of painting itself will start to inform the work, right?
exactly,
And then
yeah. Kind of, like this, when there's this,
shape it a certain way, and then things can happen.
this automatic flow or whatever,
Yeah,
and then you step back and you kind of are like, oh, well, it's kind of revealing something. I also like murals for that reason, because you can kind of collaborate with the space that you're in. So then maybe the space kind of reveals something to you in the process, and it kind of, you kind of change your route, or change how you're going to make something or whatever.
So I know you have an 8-month-old lovely little baby named Jasper, so you're probably not getting a lot of painting done right now.
No, not painting in particular. I've actually been working on small miniature sculptures, which I was working on before he was born, but very seldom. Like it's like, when he goes to sleep at night, I have like an hour or two or something, and I kind of get to be creative and use my hands and whatever, which is nice. But yeah, not painting right now, but I'm sure it'll come.
It'll come.
Yeah.
And weren't you a member of the Adzerbs?
I was, yeah. Like it was funny because, it was kind of. I guess they had this. They're a group of artists and performance artists and whatever, and they were always having new people join and whatever, just for fun. And I had joined them to do some performance with them at the Prairie Scene in Ottawa or whatever. So they were going there, and they were doing some things, and that was really fun for me, because I was being really experimental with performance, and just like many different kinds of media, not just painting. So that was fun.
Yeah, it sounds like you're interested in a lot of media. So, well, I want to thank you for your time, and your mural is wonderful.
Thank you, Lee.